It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. You, dear chosen one, have been led here by a force far greater than coincidence. Your financial worries, doubts, and late-night anxieties are about to meet an inner power that's been nudging you all along. There is a spark inside you demanding that you step beyond limitation and claim your birthright of abundance. It's a deeply personal journey, and you're the only one who can decide to walk it. So if you feel this pull in your heart, even the slightest quickening of your spirit, then trust that it's guiding you to an open door you might have overlooked. By the end of this message, you'll see that what once felt distant and impossible is becoming real, tangible, and ready for you to embrace. All I ask is that you like, subscribe, and comment 77 below, letting the universe know you're ready to welcome this transformation. Chapter 1. A door you once feared is about to open. Imagine standing in front of a massive doorway that loomed over you for years. Maybe it's the moment you truly acknowledge your debt, or the day you decide to confront a job situation that no longer serves your highest self. For many chosen ones, this door has felt more like a blockade than a passage, an intimidating barrier that reminded you of every fear, doubt, and disappointment you've ever encountered. Yet in the quiet moments of your soul, you've always known you were meant to pass through it. Something beyond your logical mind whispers that on the other side, a new realm of possibilities awaits. When you approach that threshold now, notice how the energy has changed. You no longer tremble the way you did before. A gentle, invisible hand seems to guide you forward, and this time, your resolve outshines your anxiety. It's as if every past setback has prepared you for this exact moment. The sense of uncertainty remains, but something else emerges. A clarity you've never felt in quite the same way. It's as though your soul recognizes that the obstacles weren't punishments or failures. They were steps along your path, shaping your will and sharpening your intuition. This feeling of destiny is no accident, chosen one. You're aligning with the currents of your own soul's blueprint. Maybe you've noticed little synchronicities lately. Unexpected job leads, chance encounters with old friends who suddenly say the right words, or a random advertisement that sparks an idea you can't ignore. Each of these moments serves like a nudge from the universe, affirming that you're heading in the right direction. Perhaps it's subtle, but there's an unmistakable sense of timing in how these events line up. The door you once feared begins to look more like a gateway to your true self. As you stand at this threshold, you might experience a mix of excitement and trepidation. That's normal. What matters is the choice to walk through anyway, trusting that your personal growth, your money breakthroughs, and your deep sense of calling are aligned in ways you can't fully explain, but can absolutely feel. When you finally push the door open, you step into a new chapter of living that's grounded in courage, self-honesty, and real possibility. The door becomes a reminder that fear was never meant to keep you out. It was meant to guide you inward, to unearth the power only a chosen one possesses. Chapter 2. The moment you stop fighting yourself. There comes a point where all the internal battles about money, self-worth, and future direction become too heavy to carry. You might be tired of waking up with anxiety about how you'll pay bills or how you'll justify the next leap forward in your career. You might catch yourself questioning whether you even deserve the abundance you secretly desire. Each day, the chatter in your mind can be relentless. What if I fail? What if I can't manage the success I do want? These questions tug at your spirit like weights. But a time arrives for every chosen one when fighting yourself becomes more exhausting than facing what's really going on. You reach a moment of surrender, not the kind that means giving up, but a surrender to the truth that you are capable, worthy, and already in possession of more inner resources than you realize. This surrender is like taking a deep breath after holding it for far too long. It's the sweet relief of letting your real self step forward without constantly second-guessing every move. In this surrender, you notice a shift in how you see money. It's no longer the enemy or the elusive goal that only other people achieve. You begin to see it as a resource, a symbol of energy that can flow into your life as you release old beliefs. Think about those beliefs for a moment. The story that says only people with certain connections succeed, or that you must overwork to earn every small bit of financial stability. Could it be that those stories were never truly yours? Could it be that you inherited them from past experiences, family patterns, or a culture that taught you scarcity and fear? By naming these limiting beliefs, you recognize they were illusions. They had power over you because you believed them. Now that you're acknowledging they might not be true, the cage door swings open. It's a delicate phase of transformation, but it's also exhilarating. You don't feel the same knot in your stomach when you think about your future finances. Instead, you feel a cautious optimism, a sense that a soul-aligned decision is forming in the background of your consciousness. This decision doesn't come from a place of desperation. It comes from finally seeing who you really are. When you make peace with yourself in this way, you stop generating internal friction. That friction was the very force blocking your path to abundance. With it gone, you open the channels for receiving. The heaviness lifts, the path ahead begins to reveal itself, and you take your first confident steps forward. Hands no longer clenched, heart no longer pounding with dread. Instead, you feel a growing certainty that each decision, guided by a new sense of alignment, will bring you closer to the life you've always known you were meant to live. Chapter 3. An old fear that now motivates you. Fear often has a way of digging its claws into your psyche. Maybe for years you shied away from a bold money move, like starting your own business or pursuing that dream career, because of an old story about what happens when you venture beyond the norm. Perhaps you saw people fail and lose everything, or maybe you heard cautionary tales about financial ruin and heartbreak. These stories created a mental image of worst-case scenarios so vivid that you froze every time you even thought of stepping out of your comfort zone. But now something peculiar is happening. That very fear, the one that once paralyzed you, is morphing into your greatest motivator. Instead of seeing it as a stop sign, you're recognizing it as a signpost directing you toward the transformations you need the most. You might still feel the tug of anxiety, but it's different, like a challenge that dares you to level up rather than shrink down. Where once you saw reasons to pull back, you now see opportunities to move forward. It's no coincidence that this mindset shift is happening just as you embrace your identity as a chosen one. You are, by your very nature, wired to move beyond the ordinary. That underlying fear was always meant to be a catalyst, not a cage. Even if you had to struggle through years of doubt, you're now stepping into a phase where you understand what your fear is telling you, that you care deeply about your life's trajectory and refuse to settle for a narrative that traps you in mediocrity. When you harness this fear as a motivator, you begin to sense a readiness within yourself. Each financial risk or next-level decision no longer seems like an all-or-nothing gamble. It starts to feel like an invitation. If fear is tapping you on the shoulder, it means you're playing at your edge, the exact place where real growth happens. It might feel exhilarating. It might feel nerve-wracking. But beneath it all, there's a quiet certainty that stepping beyond that edge is necessary for your expansion. In the midst of this process, stay gentle with yourself. Old fears don't dissolve overnight. They'll test your resolve in subtle ways. You'll have moments of second-guessing, and that's okay. It's part of the journey to question the path before you commit to it wholeheartedly. Yet each time you face the fear and move forward, you prove to yourself that you can. Confidence, after all, is built on experiences of courage. The more times you act in spite of fear, the less power it holds over you, and the more momentum you gain toward the abundance and freedom you've always deserved. Chapter 4. Realizing your true worth. Take a moment to reflect on all the times you settled for less. Less money than you deserved, less respect than you merited, less alignment between your work and your deepest calling. Often, this settling comes from a place of doubt. I'm not experienced enough. I might fail if I ask for more. This is as good as it gets. But for chosen ones, there's always a small voice protesting in the back of the mind, whispering that you're meant for something greater. That voice may have been faint in the past, buried under layers of self-criticism or external expectations, but it never truly vanished. Realizing your true worth is a turning point. It's not about arrogance or demanding the impossible. Rather, it's about understanding that your time, energy, and talents have intrinsic value that deserves respect, especially from yourself. When you claim this worth, You begin to see how old patterns kept you locked in cycles of unearning or overgiving. You notice how you bent over, backward to please others, perhaps hoping they'd eventually recognize your value. But now you're coming to see that the real breakthrough occurs when you recognize it first. This shift might feel like a quiet but radical act of self-love. You could find yourself negotiating a higher salary, setting up new business rates, or simply saying no when you realize an opportunity doesn't align with your standards. Initially, it can feel awkward, like wearing an outfit that's slightly too big. You might worry about rejection or judgment. Yet paradoxically, this is often the very act that commands the respect and abundance you've always wanted. People respond differently when you show up with unwavering certainty about your own value. In the background of this recognition is a deep spiritual truth. You are a chosen one, and your gifts are needed. The universe doesn't benefit from you playing small. By stepping into your worth, you also give others permission to do the same. It's like a ripple effect of empowerment. Suddenly, friends, colleagues, and even strangers may start to notice a change in your energy. They see you standing taller, speaking more clearly, and making decisions that honor your financial and emotional well-being. Let yourself settle into this new sense of worth without guilt. It's not selfish. It's actually one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and others. The journey doesn't stop here, but it becomes lighter. The beliefs that once told you to stay small lose their grip. Each day you'll find more evidence that this choice to value yourself translates into real, tangible changes in your finances and personal life. And as that evidence builds, you feel a growing momentum carrying you toward even greater expansions of abundance and self-fulfillment. Chapter 5. A soul-aligned decision takes form. Every chosen one reaches a point where all the insights and awakenings must crystallize into a single bold decision. This decision is like a pivot that can alter your entire financial trajectory, yet it originates from a place deeper than mere logic. You might have spent months or years collecting data, seeking advice, and analyzing possible outcomes. Still, the tipping point arrives when your soul itself rings with clarity, giving you an undeniable green light. You can sense it building even now. Perhaps you feel a steady hum in your chest whenever you think about launching a certain project or stepping away from an old career. You might experience synchronicities, finding just the right resource or mentor at the exact moment you need them. You no longer feel the same urgency to prove yourself to others. Your primary focus shifts toward creating a life that resonates with your highest sense of purpose. In essence, your soul is telling you, this is the moment you've been waiting for. What makes this decision so aligned is that it transcends short-term gratification. It's not about chasing easy money or patching over fear with impulsive choices. Instead, it stems from a place of calm self-assurance and knowing that this path aligns with who you truly are. The immediate effects might not be fireworks and confetti. Sometimes a soul-aligned decision leads you into a period of uncomfortable growth. But that's the beauty of it. Authentic transformation often asks for patience and perseverance. As you follow through on this choice, you may notice unexpected grace flowing into your circumstances. Old resistances, like bureaucratic red tape or personal limitations, begin to resolve with less struggle than you anticipated. Conversations that once felt strained open up into honest dialogues. Even your finances may show subtle signs of improvement, like finding new streams of income or discovering hidden savings. You realize that the biggest shift isn't in the outer world, but in how you feel about your place within it. These early confirmations reinforce your trust in yourself. With each step forward, the weight of past limitations falls away. The concept of money blockages starts to feel outdated. You see that the only true blockage ever was your own doubt about whether you deserve freedom. Now you embrace it as a birthright. Remember, a soul-aligned decision isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing practice of living in harmony with your deepest truths. This particular choice might be the turning point, but it also sets a precedent for all future decisions. You become the kind of person who knows how to honor your inner voice. And in doing so, you claim not just wealth, but an unshakable sense of worthiness. Chapter 6. Discovering support in unexpected places. It's often said that when you truly commit to a path, the universe conspires to help you. For a chosen one, this couldn't be more accurate. Once you decide to break through your money blockages, you start to notice people and resources showing up at exactly the right time. Some might be friends you've had for years, suddenly revealing skill sets or connections you never realized they possessed. Others could be complete strangers who offer a timely piece of advice, introduce you to a crucial contact, or simply provide reassurance when you need it most. These encounters may feel almost too perfect to be coincidence. They reflect a deeper truth. You are part of an intricate web of possibilities that becomes visible only once you align with your purpose. Before, you might have been closed off or too absorbed in your worries to see the opportunities swirling around you. Now that you're stepping forward in faith, your eyes are open to guidance in all its forms. This influx of support isn't just about luck or chance meetings. It's also about the shift in your own energy. When you let go of hesitation and truly believe you can move past financial struggle, you naturally radiate a sense of readiness. People pick up on that readiness, even if they can't articulate it. It might be the way you speak confidently about your new project or the ease with which you mention your next big financial step. Something in your posture, tone, and attitude has changed. As a result, the world begins to mirror back to you the energy you're putting out. In receiving help, it's important to remain receptive. Old habits might tempt you to say, "I can handle it myself," out of pride or fear of vulnerability. But by allowing yourself to be supported, you honor the fact that no chosen one travels alone. You learn that giving and receiving are two sides of the same universal exchange. Let someone assist you with the detail you find overwhelming, or share knowledge that can speed up your progress. In return, you'll find ways to uplift others, creating a harmonious cycle of support. This sense of connection lifts your spirits and fortifies your resolve. You begin to realize that abundance isn't a solitary pursuit. It thrives in community and collaboration. With every hand that reaches out to help you, you feel more confident in your direction. The path doesn't necessarily become easy overnight, but it does become clearer. You're reminded that this journey isn't just about financial gain. It's about stepping into a life that feels authentic and empowered, supported by a network of souls who recognize the light you carry. And in this realization, you find a peace that surpasses the stress and strain of merely surviving. Chapter 7. Embracing the new landscape of abundance. Stepping into this reality feels like walking onto rain-kissed soil after years of drought. Everything is awake, verdant, fragrant, humming with possibility. Where you once chased money in exhausted loops, you now welcome it as an ally, a co-architect supporting your bold designs. Abundance no longer carries the frantic timbre of survival. It hums with quiet assurance. You are provided for, you are guided, and you have what you need to meet each unfolding moment. Daily life tells the story first. Sunrise arrives less like an alarm and more like an invitation. Tasks that once dragged at your heels either reveal their deeper purpose or evaporate, clearing room for new fascinations. You experiment with smarter investments, stocks, real estate, passion-driven side ventures, because money in your hands feels like seeds in fertile ground. You contemplate philanthropy not as distant charity, but as an immediate, joyful circuit of value. As chosen ones awaken, the very physics of possibility stretches to accommodate their wider vision. New terrain, however, includes shadows. Doubts occasionally reappear, murmuring that you're undeserving or unprepared. Instead of shrinking, you greet them like old teachers. "Thank you for the reminder of how far I've come." Then you choose again, toward expansion, not contraction. Each sunrise is a chance to reaffirm that your worth was never pegged to spreadsheets or applause. Abundance is a mirror reflecting inner permission, not external permission slips. Look around. Evidence sprouts everywhere. Friends and family who once questioned your detours now applaud your momentum or quietly adopt your mindset themselves. Financial flows feel rhythmic. Unexpected refunds, ideal clients, collaborative offers at just right timing. Even your nervous system registers the shift. The inner critic's volume lowers, replaced by steady gratitude. That gratitude becomes muscle memory. You start thanking challenges mid-stride, recognizing them as breadcrumb trails to resilience. You savor each win, big launch, tiny synchronicity, with the same depth, knowing both are petals of the same unfolding rose. You sense that this, astonishingly, is only the threshold. Beyond it lie uncharted gardens of contribution, scholarships you'll fund, green projects you'll seed, stories you'll write that nudge strangers toward their own abundance. To protect this landscape, you curate inputs the way a gardener guards seedlings. You prune media that trades in fear, water mind and body through meditation, sleep, and nourishing food. You convert comparison into inspiration, asking not, why them? Not me. But what does their success reveal is possible for all of us? Your fortune becomes communal. Whether those near you feel sunnier, more daring, simply by sharing your atmosphere. And you keep stretching. Perhaps you learn a new language, imagining future partnerships across oceans. Perhaps you study generational wealth so your descendants inherit more than money, mindsets, playbooks, a family ethos of generous excellence. Perhaps you craft art that transmits abundance frequencies to audiences you'll never meet. Whatever shape it takes, expansion feels natural, like lungs filling with clean air. Scarcity thinking occasionally knocks, bearing dire what-ifs. But you've grown fluent in abundance dialects. You reply with questions of possibility. What if it works better than expected? What if this detour hides a doorway? Scarcity, hearing its echo reframed, loses interest and wanders elsewhere. Most remarkably, you realize abundance isn't a destination. It's a dynamic ecosystem. You inhabit it. It self-corrects, self-renews. When you spend generously on aligned experiences, resources circulate back in unforeseen channels. When you donate time or money from overflow, opportunities multiply. When you rest, truly rest, creative solutions percolate without pushing. You are both steward and beneficiary of a continually flowing river. So you walk forward with palms open, ready to plant or to receive. The horizon stretches, shimmering with futures that feel both thrilling and familiar, as though you glimpsed them in dreams long ago. You are here now, living the evidence that scarcity was never your inheritance. Expansion is. And in this gentle certainty, you advance, curious, grateful, and prepared for the even wider vistas that await just beyond the next sunrise.